I got to mile 15 and I was like, nope, I got to stop at the get go and I got to go number two. So I sat down, let it fly. It was not a great experience. What is going on? Today is Monday, March 20th, which means it's exactly 3 weeks and 6 days out from the marathon. Now, I have some notes on my phone here so I can keep this section short and not blabber on. Today, I'm going to be doing my 20-mile long run of the marathon prep. Now, I want to preface that by saying it's not going to be my longest run. I'm actually going to do a 22-miler next Sunday or Monday to cap off the training and then start a 3-week taper. And I'm going to do that based on the Advanced Marathon Training book, which I'll talk about during the run. But today I got 20 miles. The first 10 I'm going to do at an easy pace. I'm not going to have a GoPro or anything. I'll just do those and then pick up the GoPro after I get done with the 10 and kind of just catch up throughout the miles as I do the marathon pace miles, which will be 10 miles. But that brings me to another point. Why have I been doing long runs on Mondays instead of Saturdays or Sundays? Well, that's because the weather in Ohio has been really just shifty lately. It's been really like there have been some nice days where it's been 45 or 55 degrees even, but that happens during the week when I'm doing just my regular mileage. Yeah, it's been really cold on the weekends when I want to do my long runs. So, and when I say cold, I don't mean like 30 degrees. I mean like, yeah, I woke up on Sunday yesterday and it was 18 degrees outside. Like halfway through March, it's 18 degrees, and then today it's 45, and tomorrow it's supposed to be like 65. What the heck? So, that's why I've been postponing my long runs. And the marathon's in Texas in April, so I'm not going to go do a long run in 15-degree weather if the marathon's in Texas in April and the weather's going to be like 65, 70 degrees. I mean, you can't really trick physiology. I mean, yeah. Oh, one more thing is, because I stopped doing the reds and the greens in the joints, I decided I needed to at least like try to do beet juice, but I couldn't find it at Walmart. So I picked up these, which are beetroot dietary supplement. Take 2 capsules and do that like 15-20 minutes before the run when I take my first gel. And those are supposed to help with blood flow. Probably not as good as the strong red stuff does, but I don't know. I'll take what I can get for right now. I did invest in the electrolytes though, again, because I went to Walmart the other day, and I'll put a picture on the screen. The entire row of the Propel packets gone. Like not even, those boxes that the 10-pack boxes come in, that they ship the entire like group of boxes in. Not even remnants of those. This shelf just gone. So, I'm gonna take those beetroot powder things, wait for my laundry to dry, put my stuff on, and I will see you after 10 miles. Yeah, so we'll see you then. Forgot to mention that the last couple videos I had the GoPro. Whenever I hold the GoPro in my right hand out like this in front of me, the wind goes straight into the microphone because the microphones are here and I think on the top also by the power button. So I put this little wind cover on it that I have from my little stickies for the lavalier mic for weddings. So hopefully that should help. I lied. I forgot the sun's gonna probably go down as I'm doing the first 10 or 12 or so. So here we go. 20 miles in 3, 2, 1, go. hopefully the windsock is working because there's a lot of wind going on here. But about 4.8 miles, and I wanted to talk about, make sure my heart rate's staying low here. I wanted to talk about why I'm doing a 3-week taper. So in Advanced Marathoning version 3 that I listened to, it said studies have shown that most runners, based on scientific studies, have benefited from a 3-week taper. And because I have the time this year, I'm going to really do that taper right. And in the book it said the first week of the taper, you want to dial your volume back to about 80%. Second week, 60%. And the week leading up to your race, 40%. So for me, I've been running about 50 miles-ish each week. So for me, dialing it back to about 80% the first week of the taper will be about 40 to 45 miles. The next week, 30 to 35 miles. And then the last week leading up to the race, 22 to 25 miles in total, well, before the race. The cool thing about this race is it's on a Sunday, so even if I missed my long runs on Saturdays, I had to move them up. The race is on Sunday, so I essentially get one more day of training, I guess. So that's how the taper is going to look for this marathon. One thing I think I'm going to do differently in the next training block, or next training cycle rather, is I'm going to make sure that the day before my long runs, I really do easy, shorter runs, take the volume down a little bit. Because today I'm averaging around a 9:30 to 9:40 per mile, trying to go easy. And some of that's contributed to the GoPro, but I think the other part is because the weekend was so cold, didn't run Saturday. Yesterday was Sunday. I ran 9.25 miles at a really easy pace of about 9:30 per mile. And even though it was easy, I think the volume just, got to me a little bit. If I would have done 9 miles every day for this whole week, starting, I guess, last Tuesday after my 18-miler, I would have ran like between 70 and 75 miles for the week. So I don't know if that's completely necessary for this marathon, but I know it will be for the Boston qualifier, which I say that because for my age group, you have to run sub 3 to be able to qualify for Boston. And that reminds me, Boston Marathon is the same day as the Go One More Marathon, so I think they got a little bit of flack for that this year, but I still think it's going to be a great turnout.
Mellow, yeah, I like to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow.
The next thing I want to talk about is running into your pace. I've been really making a conscious effort of staying at a low heart rate these first 10 miles so that the next 10 miles I can go at my marathon pace, because I know, especially today, it's gonna be a little bit harder than it was for the 18 miler. So when you run the race, you want to take that first 5 to 6 miles to really get into your pace, because you don't want to blow your wheels off like I did all 3 times last year and completely ruin your race before it even starts at mile 18 or 20. That being said, with the temperature in Texas going to be a lot higher than what it is here, probably 20 degrees higher, I'm fully expecting to have a slower race, but I'm not really sure, based on dew point and temperature and all that, actually how fast that pace is going to be. That's something I'll have to judge closer to the race, probably the week of, just because all this volume and stuff is making me fatigued, and that's the whole point of the taper, is to get your body like almost reset before you go and really throw it down. All right, I'll see you at mile 10 back at the house. I'm gonna grab my water bottle, I'll turn around, gonna run the same route again. So I misjudged a little bit. I'm gonna hit 10 miles here just about now, and something occurred to me that the way I'm doing this run right now, out and back, is exactly the way the Go One More marathon is ran. You run out country roads, half dirt and then half pavement, well, mostly dirt, about half a mile pavement. You turn left, you get on this long road, you turn right, you snake up in an arc, and then you turn around in this tiny little, like really tiny little, almost town thing. There's like an old convenience store, I think, but it's the same exact route as last year. And I believe it's the backward route of what Nick Bear ran for his sub 3 back in 2021 or whatever. But it's a very familiar feeling, coming up a couple of big hills and then turning around and going right back out. So hopefully this route simulates what the race route is, because I remember it was about 600 or 700 feet of elevation. Felt like a lot more though. I think mostly because I wasn't in as good a shape. But right now we're running a 10:15, which is absolutely way slow. I'm not gonna say I doubt myself today, but it's gonna be tough. So GoPro's going away, picking up some electrolytes so I can get some salt in me so I don't cramp up. We got just under 10 miles to complete 20 miles for the day. So I will see you at the end of the run, where we'll have our post long run talk, where we'll go over everything about the run and anything I thought of during the run. So I'll see you in about 10 miles. Welcome to the post-run thoughts section of this video. It's the next day, obviously, because it's light out. I have a cup of coffee here, and I will pull up the stats from the run yesterday. I'm not going to go through all the splits, but I will go over just kind of the overalls here. It's really bright out, so got this like reflector thing here so that you can actually see my face. Hopefully it's working, but the sun's like right overhead. It's like 3 o'clock. So overall time for the 20-mile run was 3 hours 1 minute and 53 seconds. This was the elapsed time on my watch, like for the time I was recording, not the time that I took to go to the bathroom. I'll talk about that in a second. Overall distance 20 miles, calories 2050. Average pace was 9:05 with a total ascent of 279 feet. So, like I said during the run, I thought that this would emulate some of the course of the Go One More Marathon. Yesterday was tough, and it's going to be a lot tougher for the Go One More Marathon course because it's about 600 feet of elevation, and this was only almost 300, so about half. So I got a little bit of work to do. And again, the weather's going to be hotter, so I think it's going to be a tough marathon. I think the first 10 miles, the average pace was about, I want to say, probably about 9:35-ish. And then the second part of the run, where I was hitting the marathon pace miles, I want to say the average pace was probably around between 8:40 and 8:45, which was, again, a little bit slower than the last miles, marathon paced miles from last week's long run, the 18-miler. I think what contributed to that was that I lifted legs for the first time in 2 weeks on Thursday afternoon. Yeah, it just wasn't a good idea. It was too close to the long run, and because I hadn't done it for a while, my legs weren't used to all of that on my muscles. So overall nutrition, I hate goos and I don't want to use them. The other thing is that they're only 100 calories each. With the spring energy gels, I know the one that I like, the cinnamon apple pie, I think is what it's called. It's basically just applesauce, but with more calories and salt. And that, I think, is about 180 calories for each gel. One thing that happened yesterday is I think I got to like mile 16 or 17, and I had taken my gel, but I noticed it just still wasn't enough. I was starting to just get hungry. I need to have enough so that my stomach doesn't get to the point where it's starting to growl while I'm running, because that's never a good sign. So with those spring energy gels, number one, it'll be a better experience because it's not like eating honey with the taste of disgusting. It's like eating applesauce with the taste of applesauce, and they're really easy to get down. And then they'll also have more calories, so I may take the same amount, which is about 5 gels, one before and then 4 or 5 during the actual marathon, or I might even need to take less gels, which would be nice because I won't have to take as much stuff with me. I don't know if I'm going to be taking the GoPro on the actual race because, to be honest, it's really annoying trying to talk to the camera while I'm trying to keep my heart rate down and trying to keep a good pace. So I don't know if I'm going to take the GoPro with me on the actual race. I might just forego it. I know that it's really tough for me because I want to capture it all for this and for my own memories and stuff, and to practice filmmaking. But I gotta pick and choose my battles. I want to enjoy this marathon. I really want to be present. Yeah, especially for this race, I want to just gauge where I am and how I am mentally, how I am physically. Just see where I am, because I know that I have some big goals this year for running, and I just really want to make sure that I'm in the right mental space to be able to go toward those goals. I really want to try to make kind of I want to put out a video about that marathon last year and documenting and stuff, which I probably will in the next few weeks. But I think what I'm really going to do is focus on using a lot of that footage too, and the footage I get from this year's marathon to put together kind of like a mini doc like I did for my Akron Marathon last year. And it's going to be centered around how all of the marathons that I did last year, even though I was like really pumped and psyched about them, I really feel like I could have done better if I would have stuck to my original plan at the beginning of every race, instead of feeling good and then running by emotion and just kind of kicking it up a notch, instead of just following the plan that I had set for myself. I think even this year, if I scoot by running a 9-minute per mile marathon, if that's the pace I go the entire marathon, but I finish strong, I think I will still be more happy with that than a crappy 4-hour marathon that I ran, where I ran the first 15 miles well, and then I completely fizzled out, and just the rest of the race I was trying to hang on for dear life. So last thing I want to talk about is my bathroom breaks. At the 5-mile mark, I had to go pee, whatever. That just means I think I need to add like another 30 minutes onto the amount of time between when I finish my electrolyte mega dose before the race. I'll have to do it about 90 minutes out instead of 60 minutes out. I got to mile 15 and I was like, nope, I gotta stop at the get-go, and I gotta go number 2. So I sat down, let it fly. It was not a great experience, and after that I just sat there for a while, and I realized why that happened. It's because the night before we had chili for dinner, because chili has a lot of fiber in it. Yeah, the moral of the story is don't eat chili anywhere near a few days out from your long run or your race. And then afterward, after I sat there for like, I think 10 minutes, tried to get back up, and man, it was the hardest thing to get running again. Like if you're running a marathon or an ultra marathon, you can't stop. You have to, if you sit down to do something, you got to get going again as soon as possible. So I know this part was probably long, but with the amount of work that I have right now, I got a couple films I have to get out still, wedding films, and then I'm really, again, trying to work on my business. It's a lot of work running your own business, I'll just say that. And it feels like you're never getting ahead or getting to the place where you want to. But yeah, these are the kind of videos that I can make right now, just by myself and when I have the time. Mostly just centered around running, because that's a lot of what I'm doing right now, running and working on wedding films and my wedding film business. So yeah, keep looking at this coffee. I want to take a drink. If you like or liked this video, if it helped you in any sort of way, because that's one of the reasons why I do it, is to really just try to help other people who might be on this marathon or running or fitness journey. And if they can learn from the mistakes that I make or have made already, and they can just completely bypass them because of secondhand experience, that's awesome. But yeah, if you liked this stuff and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you don't miss anything. And it would really help if you would hit the like button, or if you didn't like it, hit the dislike button, because whether you hit the like or dislike button, it still counts as engagement on YouTube. And then go ahead and leave a comment too. Comment if you're running the Go One More Marathon, or if you ran the Go One More Marathon last year, and then where you're watching from, or where you're traveling from for the Go One More Marathon. I don't know if you just heard that, but my neighbor is like, he is screaming a lot right now. So that's going to be the video. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye-bye.